I got one for my client out west. Um, I was off yesterday for my birthday, so I came back in this morning with an email back from a CFO from like an interior design company. I had talked to their secretary a couple days prior to, and she had let me know that they're shopping some companies around in the area. So I think it's going to be a pretty good fit. I got 16 users over there, and they're in the market. So my client's pretty good at going in and establishing a relationship and kind of seeing what their needs are and closing business. So we'll see how it goes. Set to meet next week and see what we can do.
Yeah, so I spoke with a owner of a IT company down in Salisbury, Maryland, and they kind of heard the pitch. They were interested. They had stated that they actually had a meeting with another lead gen company that wanted to put them in a long-term contract of 40K plus. They were kind of turned off by that. As soon as I heard that, I let them know what we offer, our prices, and they were sold right away. So we have an appointment set up to meet with Aaron next week. So hoping that goes well.
Yeah, so I got two of them for my client in Mississippi this morning. They were actually back to back, so I'm kind of riding a hot hand right now. But the first one was a manufacturer's office, and they're running into some compliance issues. They didn't really have anything in place to manage their current IT strategy. They just had a few employees in house that were kind of tech savvy, so that was basically what they stuck to. And I just asked them if they ever looked into getting any managed services or have somebody run what they currently had set up, and they said that they have been looking, but they couldn't find anybody local. And a lot of that could have to do with my client's website currently being worked on. So I let her know where my location was. She was excited to hear that we were just right down the road. So she agreed to an in-person meeting, and when I asked if there was anything in particular she wanted to look at, she mentioned phones, but she said no, we're looking to upgrade pretty much everything. So I think that'll be a really good one. And then my second one was right after that phone call. It was a realtor's office, and the decision maker answered the phone, was in the middle of a bunch of stuff, but said that this is urgent, so she was going to get me over to somebody who can also make the decisions. I then get on the phone with somebody else, and they told me that they aren't really the best fit for this, so then they transferred me to another person. So I got to meet pretty much everybody in the office. And then when I finally got to ask the person that I needed to ask, they said that they were looking into a new provider. Their current provider is hard to get a hold of, slow response times, they just nonstop issues. So I just said, well, hey, my boss Jeremy can come down and kind of see what you guys are working with, see if we can, find something. And they're like, yes, let's get that on the calendar as quick as we can. So both of those for my guy, Jeremy. Shout out to you, Jeremy.
For my client out in Bellingham, Washington. It's with the vice president of operations for a pretty large transportation company. So they're headquartered out up close to Bellingham, but they have locations. I think one up in Canada, one in Phoenix, a couple in California. They have about 140 computers. They manage everything in-house right now. And the VP who I spoke with and said they looked at outside companies before. I'd actually spoke with him since December. This is probably the third or fourth time that I'd spoke with him, so we finally got some time to connect my client with him. So looking forward to it. I think it should be a good opportunity.
So I got a pretty interesting one for one of my clients. It's a church. When you think of a church, nonprofit, not a whole lot of budget for IT, probably a smaller shop. In this case, they had about over 60 users, 3 different locations, one being on a college campus. And they were interested, the executive director was interested in us coming out there and comparing options. Just from our expertise working with nonprofits, we have special pricing for it and over 30 years of experience helping nonprofits. It really caught his attention, and just with kind of everything that they're working with interlocking 3 different locations, all the users that they have a main location with most of their users, about 50, and then the other ones kind of trickle off, but they're very still important to be interwebbed, and they want someone who can manage all of that on-site and remotely. Most of their things are in the cloud, about 15 to 20 software packages in the cloud. They have an in-house team, and they like using MSPs with that. So it should be a pretty good opportunity. We like nonprofits when they're that size. That's when it starts to make sense. And we have a lot of experience working with churches. So it's a really good fit on our end, and hopefully we can make a good impression on them. Should be a pretty good one for them Friday.
So I just spoke with Bree. She was the director of finance for this health company. They're based out of my client. They're out in Nebraska. She talked with her back in December, told me to follow up around this time, and she was open to having an intro conversation. She says she works at the current company. Things are going fine, but she says it never hurts to have another option. So got that set up. She has 20 users. They're all cloud-based on the servers in just that one location, and I got that set up for this Friday.